So yeah, welcome everybody. My name is Julie. Today we're going to be looking at a spring clean for body, mind and spirit. I'm going to just share my screen now for the presentation. Here we go. I hope you can all see that now. So yeah, you're in the right place if you're ready to use the rising energy of spring to create lasting change and improved well-being. Now, I always find a kind of boost of energy at this time of year, but it can be a bit of a strange one because sometimes it can feel like a kind of frustration and agitation. The other thing about it is that it can push you to want to do too much because you can suddenly feel a little bit more energized, and then it's so easily to actually just step too far. So yeah, this is all about using that energy wisely. You're also in the right place if you're ready to sweep away what no longer serves you, if you're ready to detox your life in more ways than one, if your gut is calling out for a bit of loving, and I'll talk about that a bit more in a minute, and if you're ready to create fresh, new, supportive habits. So I'll just tell you a little bit more about myself before I go on. I see myself as an MECF thriver. This is the second time I've had ME. The first time I got over it completely, I had 7 years of complete active health. And then it hit me again. But with all the things that I've learned how to create a great life despite the illness. And my symptoms are very, very mild now. I'm a holistic life coach. My old mission was to help people take back control from chronic illness, to live a more relaxed, balanced and fulfilling life. But actually I want more than that. I want to help people really live a life that they love. So that's my mission now. I'm also a writer and an editor. I'm a meditation teacher. I'm an enthusiast of Tai Chi, yoga, meditation and essential oils. I love nature. I love dance when I can do it, although I can do very little of it. And I really believe that I'm living a dream life. That's why I am running these workshops. Here's what you'll be taking away if you stick around today. So clarity about what to let go of, a fresh understanding of how to let go of what no longer serves you, motivation, enthusiasm and self-belief in your power to make lasting change, tips for supporting your gut health, tips for physical detox, tips for creating healthy new practices, and a fresh understanding of the most powerful thing you can do for your health and happiness. So I'm going to come back to the main page again, just to check the chat box and see if there are any questions so far. Oh, Lorraine's listening in on her way home. Lovely. Great. Any questions so far, or should we just dive in? We'll dive in a bit more, I think. But yeah, if I do get a notification if you do ask a question, so I will come back to the main screen whenever whenever is a good time to answer any of those questions. So stay to the end. I'll let you know, if you haven't already got your hands on it, how to get your hands on a cool report with words of advice and inspiration from half a dozen spoony thrivers who consider themselves to be living a great life, and that includes Tony Bernhard, and for a unique opportunity for some intensive cleansing support, spring cleaning support. So I'll tell you just a little bit more about my story. Before ME, I was living a really active, fulfilling life as a residential social worker. I loved my job. many people would consider it stressful, but I didn't believe it to be so. I was doing all sorts of active things. I didn't sleep much. I had a wild social life as well. And then the illness hit me and took everything away. So I lost the ability to take part in that life and anything that used to make me happy. I was offered no help from my doctors, and I had to learn for myself how to deal with the illness. What I found helped me through it first was that I needed to grieve the life that I'd lost in order to reach an acceptance of the fact that life needed to be lived different for a while. Essential oils were a very early tool in helping me deal with some of the pain that painkillers weren't helping me with at all. I found a great acupuncturist who helped me a lot. Although subsequent acupuncturists haven't made such bigger change. And I found that the key to really being able to manage the illness well and regain energy was being able to approach everything with an attitude of relaxed effortlessness. So after 5 years, I completely recovered. I had 7 years of active, vibrant health. But after ignoring an infection and pushing through, the illness hit me again. So this time round, illness management hasn't got me to complete recovery again. And I believe that that's partly to do with gut complications. And one of the things that I've really discovered this time round, because at times I've felt so close to being fully recovered, I've really wanted to get there. But what I've discovered is striving to get somewhere, striving to be somewhere that you're not, really gets in the way. I've recently also discovered doTERRA's essential oils and their supplements, and they've helped me take another step forward. And I now see myself as living a life of peace and purpose, a life of healing. And I see it as a dream life. I have bigger dreams and there's places I want to go, but I love the life that I have right now. And I want to be able to take you further as well. So that's a bit about how I've got to where I am. But what we need to let go of, before spring cleaning is all about cleaning out what doesn't serve us anymore and starting afresh, giving fresh new things that will help us. So before we get to the point of being able to do fresh new things, we need to let go of the things that aren't serving us. And I always think that when you let go of something, it can be helpful to replace it with something in order not to get back into the habit of the void that's left by letting it go. So some of the things that we want to aim to let go of, if we can, any bitterness, resentment, or anger that you're holding on to about anything, aim for forgiveness instead. Any frustration, striving, this is a really important one. Wanting to be somewhere that you're not, wanting things to be different. Now, I know that the very nature of this workshop is all about wanting to create new habits, wanting to feel fresher. However, it's really, really important with any change to focus on doing things for yourself in the moment rather than wanting a particular outcome in the future. Any kind of striving isn't helping us at all because it's creating tension in our bodies. So basically what we want to create instead of that is an acceptance of what is. So unhealthy comfort habits. So that might be comfort eating, it might be coffee, it might be alcohol. And the way we need to replace those is happiness skills so that we don't need the comfort in the first place. Any feelings of loneliness, feelings of being unloved, that again creates tension in our bodies. So for me, that's all about just opening the passageways of love, allowing love to flow through you, but also taking the initiative to have contact with people. But in ways that suits your physical ability at the time. So you decide how you could have contact with people, and then you invite people to get involved. So we need to let go of any blame that we have about anything, and replace that with responsibility. And I mean responsibility for doing what we can with where we are right now to move forward. We want to be letting go of toxicity, and that might be people, it might be chemicals, it might be the wrong foods, it might be excesses of medications. There's all sorts of things that can produce toxicity in your life, and we need to let go of that. And if we can replace it with self-love, that will lead to healthy choices. We want to be letting go of overwhelm. And for me, once you can let go of overwhelm, it's all about just focusing on what's the next small step. And we need to be letting go of paying attention to what's wrong in the world. Because we're just going to attract more tension and negativity. We want to be focusing instead on gratitude and appreciation. And we want to be able to let go of worry and anxiety. And what we can replace that with is trust. So I'm going to come back to you for the moment. Or actually, I'll leave this up just for a second. I'll come back to you in a moment. But I would just like to invite you to either put your hand up, or probably actually no, this time we'll just type into the chat box anything that you want to let go of this spring, anything that's not serving you that you need to sweep away. You can sort of do it very generally, you don't have to do it too specifically, but yeah, let me know in the chat box, what do you need to spring clean out of your life? I'm going to leave that up just for a minute, and then I'll come to have a look at the chats. You can have a sip of tea while you're doing that. So for Sharon, it's worry and anxiety, and to build trust. Anybody else got anything they can add to what they want to spring clean out of their life in order to move forward this spring?
Hi, Julie.
Oh, hi, who's that?
That's Alan.
Hi, Alan.
Yeah, I couldn't find the chat box because I'm new to this Zoom. But yes, much like the other person, anxieties, worry, and depression. I'm suffering a bit of depression at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to be I'm going to be giving you some tips with that in a minute. But I guess with depression, I didn't have that on the list. But I would say that to replace, as well as doing what you can to let go of it, to replace it, you want to replace it with happiness skills. So we will be talking a bit about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we do get this kind of illness, everything that we used to know, how the things that we could make ourselves happy with no longer become available to us. And we just need to learn new ways with different levels of energy. And it can be quite challenging, but they are available to us. So yeah, thank you for sharing, Alan. And the chat box, if if you move your cursor or press the screen, if you're on a screen press one, there should be a line, a box, toolbox come up at the bottom of the screen. And it should sort of have the mute button, the stop video, participants, and the chat box should all be down there. Now, if you're on a device, I'm not sure how that might be different, but yeah, that's how to get to the chat box if you're seeing the same kind of screen as I am. So yeah, and Monica, self-criticism and frustration with health. Yep. So the frustration bit is about replacing it with acceptance. Self-criticism is perhaps replacing it with acknowledgement of achievements. We can have I think when we become ill, we still judge our achievements based on old standards that apply to everybody else. But once you have an illness like ME, CFS or fibromyalgia, basically you've got a disadvantage. You're carrying a huge weight of lack of energy around with us, and we need to start being able to recognize our achievements with a different sense of calibration. And I often use the example of comparing the marathon runner with the strong man who's pulling a truck. Now, we still think that a small strong man who's pulling a truck is amazing, even if he's only going 100 meters and the marathon runner's going 26 miles or whatever. So just imagine that having a chronic illness is like that truck that we're having to pull with us. So we have to be really, really pleased with ourselves if we just get a few meters rather than expecting ourselves to do what everybody else does. So yeah, that's the kind of what we want to replace with self-criticism. Now I'm going to move on, and thank you very much from whoever's named as iPad, who has given instructions for how to get the chat box if you're on an iPad. Thank you very much. So the participants is at the top of the screen and it says chat at the bottom. Okay, thank you. So let's get to back to the presentation so I can share things. So how to let go of these unhelpful things, unhelpful behaviours in particular, but anything really, before we start building new things up, how are we going to let go? So step one is really becoming aware that you're doing it in the moment, but also recognizing that it's either being driven by a need that you have, or it's being driven by an old pattern that used to serve you. So first of all, it's sort of really recognizing what is driving the thing that you want to get rid of. Is it that you're needy for something, or is it that an old pattern is telling you that when you were in this situation before, this is what served you better? Now, step two is all about having an acceptance for the fact that that's what you feel like doing. That's what's driving you at the moment, and a compassion for the fact that you have certain needs that are wanting to be met, or that your old patterns are trying to get you somewhere, even if they're not working right now. So step three is recognizing it doesn't serve you now. So what would be the consequences of continuing? What happens if you do what you're doing, this thing that you want to let go of? And then it's about choosing a response that will serve you better and recognizing what those consequences would be as well. What would be the outcome of doing things in a different way? because what our wholeness, our what's the word, our I've got mental blank, our subconscious and our wholeness needs from us is to know that it's whatever we do is going to lead us towards happiness and away from pain. So what we need to do is actually show our bodies that this doesn't work anymore, and this is going to give us a better chance of getting where we want to go. And then we need to look out for evidence that the new way serves as well, because that will write the new behavior, the new thought, the new thing into working better. It'll make it a stronger neural pathway. So I'm now going to ask a volunteer, somebody who wouldn't mind talking, just to guide you through this process with a bit of an example. So is there anybody who would like to volunteer so that I can sort of talk you through those steps? As an example of how they work with the things that you want to let go of. And hi, Julia. I won't call you iPad anymore. Okay. So, yeah, not feeling a little shy, people. Anybody? Monica, I see you've unmuted yourself.
Yes. Raise hand. There we go.
There you are. Wonderful. Well, what would you like to get rid of, let go of, before you in your spring clean?
Self-criticism. Every time I feel so bad, I berate myself, and just, I don't know. I'm really hard on myself and think I should be doing more than I'm capable of.
Okay. So you're aware of that. Let's first, how do you think that might have served you in the past, Monica? Being critical, where would it have got you?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm in a total brain fog criticizing. I mean, it should help you do more, but I don't think it does help me more.
That's right. It probably doesn't, but I guess that it was developed as a mechanism to try and drive you to do more and to drive you to succeed. So at some point, as you've developed, there's been it will have served you in some way to, if you criticize yourself first, you might be able to avoid other people criticizing yourself, because you might be able to change what it is you're criticizing. So there's always a reason why these patterns develop, and they're usually about trying to protect you from pain or trying to help you achieve. So the next step is acceptance and compassion. So when you find yourself criticizing yourself, to just first of all say, oh, look, this is me criticizing myself again, and be really accepting of it, and to have some compassion for yourself for the fact that there is this pattern within you that was developed that makes you self-critical.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's my mother's voice, it's like whenever I was sick, oh, you're no fun, or, I should be running a marathon or writing the great American novel, or, it's all the shoulds. And letting go and acceptance are very Yeah.
So it's really important stage is that compassion for yourself for the fact that you are being critical, that recognition of where it comes from. Okay. So then the next step is recognizing that it's not serving you now. So let's just talk through what's the consequences when you're being self-critical. How do you feel as a result of being self-critical?
Worse.
Yeah.
Worse. Yeah. Guilty. Bad. Yeah.
Yeah. It zaps your energy. It brings tension into your body. So right now, for you, the way things are at the moment, the consequences of that are basically, it doesn't serve you. They're negative. They drag you down. It drags you down. Yeah.
Yep.
So the next thing is what could you choose instead of self-criticism? Once you've noticed it, accepted it with compassion, and recognized that it's not helping you, what could you choose instead?
Just to be kind to myself and try and accept what is and let it be without, adding pain to what I'm already suffering. Yeah.
So let's just have a quick look at, if you were able to do that, if you were allowed to be able to be kind to yourself and just let yourself be, and I'd perhaps add a little bit of, and recognize how great your achievements are, even if they seem tiny, that they're wonderful because you're doing them with a massive, carrying a massive weight around while you're doing them. So if you were able to do that, what do you think the consequences would be?
I think I would just be happier during the period that I'm having a bad relapse.
Yeah. And if you were happier, what else might happen in your body?
It might relax. It would be nice if it felt better, but
but I guess I always think that if your body is relaxed, you're using less energy.
Yes. If you're relaxed, yes, that's true.
So for me, when I know that I'm relaxed, I know I'm not holding my body in tension. I know that I'm using less energy, and my belief is that energy can be sent to healing.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
That's very good. Thank you. Because I tend to just watch movies because that's all I'm physically capable of doing, and then I feel guilty. But it's true, you're distracted and you relax. So why not just surrender to doing that?
Absolutely. If anything that can help you relax, as long as you don't give yourself a hard time about it, it's about just allowing your body to work with less energy and letting the energy being used for healing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, thank you for volunteering, Monica. You've created a great example for these steps. So I'm going to just mute you again, if that's all right. And
of course.
We'll move on to, I'll just go back through the steps very briefly. I need to get the screen share back on again first. That was just showing you letting go of the old habits. So awareness, and recognizing that there's either a need behind it or an old pattern that served you at one point. So having acceptance and compassion for the fact that that's the way you feel, that's the impulse you're having at the moment, but recognizing it doesn't serve you now, and recognizing, well, what would be the consequences of considering, really of continuing, really working through and showing your body that it's not going to serve you, that the consequences are going to be negative. And then choosing a new response and recognizing what those consequences would be, by doing the new thing. And then I didn't do this step with Monica, I'm sorry, but afterwards looking out for evidence that that new way serves you. So it's practicing it and then checking out, oh yeah, I did manage to relax and not give myself a hard time while I was watching the film this afternoon, and look how much better I feel for it. Okay, so yeah, I just want to kind of encourage everybody that you've got this. All it takes really for this whole spring clean thing is to have an intention, and then to be extremely permissive, extremely kind to yourself, to only do what feels like what you feel like at any time. It isn't about striving. You don't have to strive to be able to make these changes. It really does come from a place of compassion. Also, anything can be achieved with small steps taken one at a time. And once your wholeness realizes what serves you, it will become a lot easier. So as soon as your body actually recognizes, oh yeah, when I do this, I feel more relaxed and I'm not using so much tension, that response will become the automatic response instead. It takes a bit of practice, but as soon as your wholeness does realize that this is the best way to serve you, it does become easier. So the key really is acceptance of what is in the here and now, and attention to the present moment. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the physical cleanse now, and why we might want to do a cleanse during this spring clean time. So there's many toxins present in today's day-to-day living, and with illnesses like ME, CFS and fibromyalgia, I believe that our detox mechanisms are often working below par. So toxins can damage our intestinal lining and make nutrient absorbent less effective, and that can also sort of feed back into all the sort of processes in the body that can be involved in these sort of illnesses, like the methylation cycle. You need all the right nutrients for that, and the stuff that's going on in our mitochondria as well, making sure we have optimal nutrients for that. But if our gut isn't happy, if our gut has been damaged, we may not be absorbing our nutrients effectively. Also, 80% of our immunity is in the gut. So if you support your gut, you are supporting your immune function. There's also thought now to be sort of brain cells around the gut, that there is a gut-brain connection, or cells that act very similar to brain cells that are around in the gut. And this connection means that a healthy gut means a happier mind. So when we can optimize our elimination channels, we can optimize our well-being. So I want to talk a little bit about a 30-day cleanse strategy. It's something that I'm going to be starting next Monday, if anybody wants to join me. Part of that will involve doTERRA's Cleanse and Restore Pack, which is a set of supportive supplements and essential oils. It will also be about reducing or eliminating sugars, gluten, dairy, soy, and processed foods. Now, for me, the aim is to do this for 30 days. It may be that you find there are things that you want to continue with. But again, it's really important for me that it is something that we don't strive to do. We don't push ourselves to do. It needs to be relatively easy. So we need to sort of choose ourselves what's going to suit us best. And in that 30 days, there is going to be a 10-day period where you might want to do things a little bit more intensely. And be easygoing with the other 20 days. But as well as getting rid of things that are damaging or can cause problems in the gut. There's things to add as well to help with a healthy gut, and that's fiber, fermented foods, greens, so spinach, broccoli, all of that sort of stuff, flax seeds, fruit, and garlic. So all of those are really things that can help improve your gut health. Another part of this whole strategy is to hydrate well, to make sure that you're flushing out the toxins, to support the lymphatic system, which is part of your detox system, with gentle movement, gentle self-massage or dry brushing. And again, then there's the whole part of it, which is about letting go of what doesn't serve you, introducing new supportive habits, and bottom line, acceptance and detachment, allowing things to be as they are and detaching from the state of wanting things to be different. So we might be aiming somewhere, we might want to move forward, but we want to do that with a sense of detachment, of not being attached to the outcome of getting there. So I'm going to move on now. Any questions about that before I move on to cleansing the mind and the spirit? I won't come back to you unless I see there's a question in the chat box. No questions by the looks of things. So cleansing the mind and the spirit. So yeah, again, I'm coming back to this crucial idea of acceptance of what is and detachment from outcome. Oh, there is a question or a comment, so I am going to just come away from that for a second. Right, is fasting good for people with CFS? Now, I have done intermittent fasting, where the idea is to have a 16 to 18 hour fast and then eat what you're going to eat in a 6 to 8 hour window. And then you can do another 16 to 18 hour fast before the next meal. Now, I've found that really helpful for balancing blood sugar issues, which can be a part of CFS for some people. It was a part for me. I can get very unstable blood sugar levels, but intermittent fasting has helped me a great deal with that. Now, I never reduced my calories to the level that was suggested for a sort of weight loss fast in that 6 to 8 hours. I didn't worry about my calories. I kept carbs low, but I kept fat and protein and fiber quite high in those 6 to 8 hours, and just focused on getting the 16 to 18 hour fast before and after on my fast days, and I would do that 2 days a week. I would say that it would very much depend on your level of resilience. So that kind of intermittent fasting probably isn't going to do too many people harm, and I have read about a lot of other people with CFS who have found intermittent fasting really useful. However, I would always say either consult a doctor or a nutritionist if you do want to do any more fasting than that. But yeah, I found intermittent fasting helpful. But yeah, you do need to be careful about calorie intake. I wouldn't cut back too much on general calorie intake, because we use our fuel so inefficiently. It's not a good idea to cut back on the fuel altogether, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm going to continue with the rest of the cleansing the mind and the spirit. So yeah, acceptance what is, detachment for outcome, and also to recognize that we can still enjoy moving forward even without being desperate to get somewhere. So if we can let go of that, I have to get to a point where I'm feeling better, or I have to resolve this, I have to, if we can let go of that, we can still enjoy in the moment doing things that are going to help us move forward. But it's not then about getting somewhere. It's about enjoying the process of moving, enjoying the process of doing something for yourself. It's really important to prioritize peace to facilitate healing. When our body is in a peaceful state, we can switch on the parasympathetic nervous system, which directs our body's resources to restore, repair, heal. So cleansing the mind and spirit means making sure that in your day you have time for meditation, silence, or nature. Another way of doing it is mind-body connection practices. So things like, well, mind-body meditations, body scans, Tai Chi, yoga. Basically, what I believe is that if you can connect your mind and your body in the moment, your spirit will join the party. It's get that connection of mind and body in the moment, and you will enter into that kind of spiritual space as well. So another way of cleansing the mind and the spirit is to practice mindfulness, because mindfulness teaches us how to, when we can choose, and gives us the ability to make those choices. The most important thing about cleansing the mind, body, and spirit, which is all about not striving, is allow change to come from a place of love and not fear. So often when we're trying to get better because we really don't like the pain we're in right now, or we don't like the level of not having energy that we've got right now, basically we're pushing ourselves to move forward because we're fearful of staying where we are. Now, if instead of being fearful of staying where we are, we can love ourselves to give ourselves just exactly what we need right now in this moment, that's where change is going to happen. So I know I've got quite a bit more to go, and or perhaps I haven't, but not too much time. So I'm going to move on. I will come to more questions if I see them popping up, and I'll come back to you in a few more minutes. But let's look at creating healthy new practices. So once you've decided what you want to let go of, and you're putting into practice the techniques for letting go, and you want to fill the void with things that are actually going to be more healthy and helpful for you, this is how to get them to stick and get them working for you. So first of all, when you're starting something new, you want to remind yourself why you're doing it. What benefit are you gifting yourself by doing this? So for example, with the allowing yourself to watch the movie without being self-critical, the benefit you're giving yourself is relaxation. And the benefit that that's giving your body is you'll be using less energy. And maybe even if you get relaxed enough, and if you really let go of all tension, not only will be using less energy, but the energy that you're not using on tension can be directed to healing. So it's about, before you do anything, remind yourself why you're doing it, and then what the benefit is that you're getting out of it. Also, really focus on doing these things to make the now better, not for a future outcome. So, okay, in the long run, these things might lead to healing, but actually what you're doing them for is to feel more relaxed right now. That's really important, doing them for the now rather than for a future outcome. Look to see if there's anything you can anchor a new practice to, especially if it's something like meditation or spending 5 minutes enjoying nature or just 5 minutes of silence. Is there something that's already a regular part of your day that you could anchor this new practice to? Creativity, I missed that, and I've thought about it twice and wanted to add it to my my thing and forgot. So for cleaning the mind and the spirit, taking some time being creative as well is a really helpful new practice that you might want to add to your day. What could you anchor it to? Making sure that if you have lots of new practices that you want to start, that you just build them one at a time. Don't set yourself huge things to achieve. Just get one thing started first, and then once that's more established, you can add something else. Have a tick box and a reward system. So what is it that you want to be achieving? What is it that you want to be introducing into your day? If you do it 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4 days a week, offer yourself a reward and encourage yourself to fill out the tick box. Just having the tick box makes you more aware and makes it more likely that you'll remember to do what you want to do. Recognize your achievements, journal them or write them and put them in a jar. And watch out for improvements. Really look out for the evidence that the new practices that you're putting into place are making a difference for you. So I'm going to have a quick sip of my tea before I go on. In fact, before I do go on, I am going to just invite any more questions. So does anybody have any questions about anything that we've been talking about so far? It doesn't look like it. I'm going to get back to the presentation. So I can't know exactly why you've shown up here today. It may be that you could do with more support. You could do more to support your health and well-being, and you want to make a fresh start, especially with this little bit of extra energy that comes to us during spring. Maybe you can hear your body calling to you to cleanse. Maybe you need help letting go of those old habits that no longer serve you. Or maybe you'd just like to make the most of the rising spring energy. Or maybe you heard a whisper from your spirit, and I think I've just realized I didn't actually share my screen, did I? I just went to it. Here we go. Now you can see that. So we're going to move on from there. So I want to come down to the bottom line again. If nothing else, I hope you'll take away this one thing, that a gentle spring clean can be really simple. It doesn't have to be striving. Okay, you can get life back on track without having to strive. It's nothing you have to do to get to a particular place to get a future outcome. And it can be tackled from a place of self-love. These simple changes can make your now better. I think there's been another chat, so I'm just going to come back to the chat box. Are the ideas I've given on my website to refer to? They're not, but they're not in the form that I've described them today, put it this way. There are lots of blog posts on different aspects of what we're doing what we're talking about today. So you can have a look through my blog for some of that, or I will be posting the recording of this to my social media sites afterwards, so you can sort of look at it again and pause it on the particular bits that you want to pause it at, if you want to, Alan. So yeah, but I'm going to be there is going to be an opportunity for further support as well, which I'm going to be talking about right now. So let's get back. So yes, so yeah, the question is, and it comes quite poignantly right at the moment, you can take these tips away and start on your own by watching the recording, reminding yourself of what we've been talking about. Or if you need further support, I'm going to be doing this 30-day spring clean for body, mind and spirit from next Monday. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about what that is. So it's trying to give you all the tools that you need and the support to use them well. So basically, I will be helping you use these tools well during a 30-day period. It includes many of the tools I've used over and over again, both with myself and with clients to great effect, plus a new tool that I can't wait to try out. So I'll come to the questions after I've done the next couple of bits. What exactly does it involve? Well, it involves first off the doTERRA Cleanse and Restore kit. Now, I haven't used this kit before, although I have been really impressed with the Lifelong Vitality pack of supplements that I started taking about 6 months ago, and I just can't turn back. And that is included in this kit. But there's also GX Assist, which creates an unfriendly environment for the toxins in the digestive tract. PB Assist, which is a probiotic defense formula encouraging healthy microflora growth. Zendocrine, which is a detoxification complex to support the healthy function of the liver, along with the kidneys, colons and lungs. And Digestsen Terrazyme, which is a digestive enzyme complex to provide the deficient nutritional components for vital, healthy digestion, metabolism, and cellular energy development. It will also include a workbook explaining the protocol and all the tools, and also daily spring clean personal development tasks. I'll be doing weekly online support meetings, basically like this one, where I can sort of really help you let go of the things that you want to let go of and support you to create those new habits in the ways that I've been working today. There'll also be a Facebook group for ongoing support, and we'll also be including guided meditation downloads, because I really do believe that meditation and creating that space can help with this spring clean. Basically, what will it cost? I usually charge $97 an hour for coaching, but my coaching in this program will be free. Although it's taken me years and great financial investment to develop these tools, I just want you to enroll with me as a wholesale customer with doTERRA with the Cleanse and Restore pack. So basically, it's just buy the supplements and you'll get everything else included. I'm offering my support and coaching for free because I really believe in this product and I want to help you get on board, although I will benefit financially in a very small way from your purchase. So it is a great investment. The cost is just €170 or £140. I'm not sure what that is in dollars for any of you across the other side of the Atlantic, but I can find out for you if you let me know you're interested. You'll not only get this program, but you'll also then be entitled to the 25% wholesale discount on future doTERRA products. I've got details there for how you can enroll, but we'll come back to that in a minute. I just want to check to see what questions they are, what comments. Oh, yeah, sorry, it was just a comment from Julia about the watching the recordings again and taking it in again. It can be helpful. So yeah, any more questions before I just go back to how I'm going to be running that 30-day program? So yeah, the way you can enroll is you need to use my ID at my page. The information's there. I'll put it in the chat box later on. Or you can print out the following form, which I'll also put into the chat box. Fill it in, sign it, and then send a photo or a scanned copy back to me. There are other options if you really don't want to do the cleanse and restore kit. And if you are very, very vulnerable to supplements and know that you can't support them very well, then maybe you want to do a more gentle, well, the whole thing is going to be very gentle, but if you don't support supplements well, then the other option is to do it without the supplements, which will cost 147 euros. Or if you are already enrolled with doTERRA, you can't enroll again, so it will be 47 euros for the products. Or 7 euros if you're a member of Michelle Holmes's download, which is kind of like our team, really. You will get so much more than your investment, because this will bring a sense of clarity and freshness, motivation, enthusiasm, self-belief, satisfaction of the power of self-care. This is all about you doing something for you. The lightness of letting go, a renewed sense of vitality, a renewed sense of peace and balance, and a renewed sense of well-being. So basically, it's all about spring cleaning your body, mind, and spirit. It's a holistic package with all the support you need to be successful without striving. And that, to me, that's so important. It's not about pushing yourself to get somewhere. It's about making the now better and being so gentle and kind and loving to yourself. So you'll be using powerful self-development tools that have proven successful over and over again, both with me and my clients. And it's also about getting started with doTERRA and my support as your wellness advocate. So basically, if you sign up with me with doTERRA, at any time that you're interested in using essential oils or any of their supplement products, I'm there to advise you, to give you some support, to help you work out what will be most helpful for you. When you sign up for me, I become your wellness advocate, and that's free. I mean, considering how much I charge for my coaching, it's great that all you have to do is sign up and you get that kind of access to me around the essential oils and supplement side of things. So yeah, take that first simple step. I will just come and copy these things to the thing in the chat box in a second. In fact, I'm going to do that now, so this is the form that you can fill in. Where are we? Copy it. And just send me a copy back. Oh, actually, my email at CFS Self to Help. Oops, I mistyped it somewhere there. Yeah. The other thing you might want to think about, if some of these tools have been helpful, but the whole package really doesn't suit you, yeah, contact me for a half price strategy session, and you can see whether coaching would be something that would suit you better. I'm really enthusiastic about the doTERRA stuff at the moment, but my main focus is coaching, is supporting people with the coaching skills. So that's the next bit. Another way of doing it is to go through the website, but I would say filling out the form is probably the easiest way to do it. But those are the other information if you want to go to the doTERRA website. But yeah, just email me if you think coaching would suit you better. Oh, and there's one more slide I want to show you because we have gone over time. But yeah, if this workshop has been helpful, that's it for now. If you're not interested in going the 30-day cleanse spring clean with me, I'd be really, really appreciative if you could send me a quick review of this workshop by email. I've just put my email address up there. And if you could include a star rating out of 5. And if you'd like me to keep doing free workshops, I usually do them on the second Monday of the month, although this one's a little bit late. Yeah, you might want to help by offering a voluntary contribution. If you think this was worth the cost of a cup of coffee, that there's a PayPal link that you could contribute a small amount to just keep these going. The other thing that you might want to do is let me know what you'd want the topic of the next workshop to be. I've been choosing the topics over the last couple of months, and I actually the next month will probably be one that I choose as well. But actually after that, I will be open to any suggestions for the next few free workshops. So I'm just going to post this into the chat box as well. And the final thing was, if you haven't already signed up for the Great Life Report, which is me and 6 other Spoony Thrivers describing how we've got to live a great life, what are our tips, and to get there, you can do that at the link right at the bottom. So yeah, I'm happy to hang around for another couple of minutes if there's any more questions about any of this. I hope you've found today useful. I know a big part of it is that I'd like to help even more with the 30-day spring clean, but I hope that what we've been talking about has been valuable in itself. That is my goal with these sessions. I do hope that you've been able to take something away. So yeah, thanks for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. So any questions, please don't hesitate right now. And if you haven't got questions and you're on your way, I'll just say goodbye. So bye if you're off now. Otherwise, I'll be here to answer questions for a minute or two. I'll have a sip of my tea while I'm waiting. Well, the questions aren't coming in. So I will just for now wish you all a wonderful week or two, and I do hope that you can find a way of harnessing this changing energy of spring and turning it into something that will help bring lasting change to your well-being. Okay, pointing in the direction of losing weight when having CFS. That's from Julia. I think one of the most helpful things for me was the intermittent fasting 5-2 diet, and there is I have got a blog post about that. What I found was that even though just having those 2 fasting days, where you did a 16 to 18 hour fast before and after a 6 to 8 hour window of eating, but keeping calories to a reasonable level during that area, because it stabilized my blood sugar levels. It didn't I didn't crave things so much. So my cravings calmed right down, and I was able to eat a lot more healthily and a lot more carefully. But I would definitely say doing your best to cut out sugars and processed foods is really important. And I would hope that this Spring Clean would also be helpful in that direction. The goal isn't to lose weight, but it's about creating healthier habits and actually having a focus on letting go of the things that don't serve you during those 30 days, particularly with a 10-day of being a bit more intense. And if you did want to perhaps do 2 days out of those 10 days on doing the intermittent fasting, I'd be happy to guide you through how I do that as well. Yeah. But yeah, check out the blog post I wrote on, I think I called it the 5-2 diet. Yeah. I guess for me it was very much about stabilizing my blood sugar levels so that the cravings weren't as bad. So yeah, if you weren't losing any for 2 days on a 500 calories, but yeah, it is tough when you can't exercise. And I guess the other thing, Julia, from what I've been talking about, is that just I've found that the more with weight issues, the more I can just accept what is and be comfortable and happy with how I am, the less when I'm not unhappy, I don't comfort eat. So the more accepting I can be of where I am, the less I'll comfort eat, basically. And that also can help with my weight loss. So, right, yes, I think I'm going to shut up now because I am getting a little bit tired myself. So yeah, working on the acceptance of where you're at. All right, I'm going to finish the recording now. So thank you everybody who stayed with me, and thank you for those of you who are watching the recording. But I'll say goodbye now and I'll switch off